Hey guys, in this tutorial I'll be discussing how I designed this nice looking interactive sidebar here. Okay, so let's just get into that right now. Back in my editor. Okay, I'll just start from the scratch. Okay, so I'm going to delete everything I have here. Just start everything from the beginning. Okay, so this is my basic setup here. I have my page. This is my page. I have a floating group here, and I just have a group right there. Okay, and make sure you install this plugin, hero icon. Okay, by minimum studio. Right, back to my design tab. Okay, I'm just going to be dragging a repeating group here. Okay, I'm putting a repeating group here. Okay, so right now I have an option set. Let me take you through my option set. And the option set is just navigation. Okay, and within that there are several options there. I have dashboard, billing, profile, message, setting. Okay, and I also have attributes. Okay, and the first attribute I have is just slug, which is a text and an icon. Alright, to create an attribute you just have to click on this and then raise the attributes and the attribute type. But I've done that already. I have attributes, icon, I have slug. Alright, also make sure to have opened this tab. Okay, heroicons.com. It is where we'll be getting the dynamic names of our icons. Alright, so back to the editor and to the design tab. Okay, so here we just be feeding in the type of contents, and the type of contents will be navigation. That option set I just showed you guys. Okay, and the data source will be all navigation. Okay, cool. Set the, it will not be a fixed number. Let's just make the height 56 for now so that we have enough room to work. Okay, just for now. We'll come back and do that later. Right, I'll just make my minimum width say 0. Right, we'll still be closing this up, but not now. Okay, so just get a group. Okay, and just pop it in just like that. Okay, so after having this group here, we're just going to be doing some modifications to it. Okay, a roundness of say 20. Okay, and padding will be 20 round. Okay, padding will be 20. I'm just going to bring in the text and the icon in. Okay, so here we have, when you install that hero icons plugin, you have this hero icon here. Okay, I'm just going to be putting this here. I'm just going to be making it something like 4 by 24. And I think this roundness, the roundness here is too much. So I'm just going to be reducing that to say 15. I think 15 is fine. Okay, so make sure this group is set to row because we are putting things side by side. Okay, set to row. I'm bringing in the text. Okay, so right now I'm making my text is CB. Okay, I'm going to be using the same thing for the icon. So okay, going to be giving the gap spacing of say I think 10 will be fine. Yeah, and it's fine. Just make sure this is aligned to the center horizontally. Okay, cool. I also feel the 20 padding is too much, so let's just reduce that to 15. So okay, just do what looks good, right? So this looks good to me. And for the text is going to be okay, let's fill in the group first. So I'm just going to be inheriting what I have on my repeating group. So that will be navigation, right? And the data source will be current sales navigation. Okay. And the text will just be pulling out the display. The text will be current groups navigation display. So just to make it look good here, I'm just going to put a placeholder name like that. Call it navigation. Okay. Right now this text is so thin for the sidebar. I'm going to be making this say 500. And that looks good. Yeah, and for the icon, okay, of course we're not going to be using a block. So the icon will be dynamic. Okay. So what you should do for that is, although I've done that, but I'm going to be showing you. Okay. For instance, for the board nav icon, we want to use this box. I think it's called square. Yeah, this one. Okay. Now, what you want to do for all the navigation icons is to just copy this name. This is the dynamic name. Okay. Make sure this name is copied and then go back to your editor. Okay. And this place that says dynamic icon will be parent groups navigation icon, and I'll show you where that icon is coming from. Okay, now after copying the dynamic name of the icon from here, what you just have to do is go to editor, go to the option set. Okay, remember we added this icon attributes. Okay, what you're just going to do is click on modify attribute and then paste that icon name here. Okay, paste that icon name here and do the same thing for all the options. Okay, modify attribute. I have billing. I'm using the credit card copied from hero icons. Okay, the dynamic name. Okay, same thing as profile. I'm using a user icon. Okay, guys, you get the gist, right? So that's where the icon is coming from. I also have another attribute called slug. Okay, now slug is a part of your URL. Okay, let me just preview this and show you what slug is. Okay, so this says profile. Now this is a slug. Okay, it's a part of your URL and it's usually in small caps. Okay, small caps. Right, all small caps. When I click on say message, the slug is going to change to message. Now we are going to be using this slug, okay, to conditionally change the colors, the background color, and this icon from this outline to solid like we have here. Okay, so whenever I click on this, it's going to be solid. Okay, it's going to be solid. You just give the user this interactive, feedback. Okay, so back to my editor. Okay, so you also want to create this attribute here called slug, and just modify it and just type in the slug. Okay, it's usually the same thing with the display button. Small caps, everything small caps. Okay, all right. So let's go back to the editor. Okay, so guys, let's just see what we have here. Let's just preview it and see what we have here. Okay, just going to preview this. Okay, good. So we have this. Looks good, but we don't have that cool effect that I showed you from the beginning of the video. So I'll show you how to add interactions here. So back to the editor. Okay, so the condition would be that when this option is selected, we want to have it highlighted. Okay, and we also want this icon to change from outline to solid. Okay, let's just do that right now. So on the conditional tab, I'm just going to be saying when get data from page URL. Okay, so instead of parameter, that will be part segment as a list, and we know it's a text. Okay, so when the text item number 2, okay, I'm going to be explain why it's item number 2, is current sales navigation slug. Okay, I want the background color, the background style to be changed to flat color, and here I've already given it a background color. Okay, I think I'm just going to be giving it a background color now. I'm going to be using this nice looking dark purple. Okay, like this. Okay, and I'm going to be turning it back to none. Right, so I want to show that conditionally. So when gets data from page URL, what this is saying is when the second item in the path, which is this, now sidebar is the name of the page, that is the first path, and the option set slug is the second path. Okay, so this is item number 1, item number 2. Okay, now forget this version text. Bubble knows that version text is not the first item. So page name first item, second path is the second item. So that's why we're referring to the second item, that if indeed the second item is the same thing as the current sales navigation slug, okay, then we want to change this background color. Okay, so that being said, we also want to do same thing to this, to the icon. For the icon, we just want to change it from outline to solid, because right now it's just outline. Okay, so we want to change it to solid. But still, we are going to be copying this condition here. Okay, it's just the same condition, but we're going to be changing the outcome. So put this here and paste it. So instead of background color, it will be type. Okay, so the icon type would go from outline to solid. Okay, we also want to make this text a little bit bolder, so put the same thing here. So instead of flat color, this would be weight. Okay. So the weight would go from 500 to say like 600. Okay, that's good. But we've not added the workflow, so we're going to be adding the workflow now. Right. So add workflow. So when that group is clicked, I want to go to page. Okay, and just the same page I want to go to, which is this page called sidebar, and the data I will be sending is current sales navigation slug. All right. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Run mode. Okay, very good. So have this. Okay, I think this is too big, so we're going to be adjusting this a little bit to look more, to look nicer. And then we also want to have this interactive kind of hover effect. Okay, when we hover on them. I'm going to be doing all those modifications and additions now. Okay, so back to my repeating group. Okay, I'm just going to be making minimum height something like 10. Something like 10 is fine. Okay, for the height, we don't need it to be that long, so just going to be making it 10. Okay, and this group, I think the height is too much. Let's just make it 10 too. Okay, I think this looks good. Good. Okay, so let's just see what it looks like right now. Okay, I think this is nice. So let's add the hover effect. Okay, back to my editor. Before then, I'm just going to be making top sort of 15. I think 10 is 10 is fine. 10 is fine. So yeah, the hover effect now. So when this group is hovered or any of the group is hovered, I want to have this cool interactive hover effect. So this is what I'm going to do. When this group is hovered, okay, I want to give it a left padding. Okay, right now it's 15, but to get that kind of elevation feel, I'll make it 20. Okay, so let's see what we have right now. Okay, cool. So we have that now, but it looks it's happening too sharp, right? It's happening too fast. So we want to add an ease effect to it. We want to make it, happen really easily. All right. So back to my editor. I think I'm going to space out the nav because it's just too close to each other right now. So I'm going to do that too. Okay, let's quickly space it out. Okay. So to space it out, I'm just going to be using the separator. Okay. So I'm just going to be making these like 20 to make it really big, and set opacity to 0. Okay. So like that, we just have the width and not the separator itself. Okay, good. So it's really spaced out right now. Okay, back to my editor, and I think this roundness needs a lot of work too. So roundness will be set to something like, say, 8 is fine, 15 is just too much. Okay, back to this hover effect. Let's make it a little bit better. Okay, so here there's a condition that says when the group is over, change the left padding to 20, giving it that kind of effect. So here what we want to do is just make the transition really smooth. Okay, so just come to this appearance tab and set a property to define new transition, and the transition will be left padding. Okay, and I think 200 is too short. I usually say something like 300 to 400, but I think 300 is fine. Okay, so let's preview this right now. Cool, this is really cool. So see, now we have this nice interactive hover effect. Okay, so guys, one more thing. When the user loads the page for the first time, this dashboard wouldn't be there, right? So what happens? See, it looks broken. Okay, nothing is selected by default, right? But we want something to be selected by default, and that will be like the first one, which is dashboard. So dashboard should be selected by default when the user loads the page for the first time. So let's just add that last one there. Okay, back to my editor, the workflow. And I'm not using a page load event. I'm going to be using a went through event. Okay, I'm going to be telling you what I'm using the went through. So went through. Okay, so the condition is only when page is loaded entirely. Okay, and the reason I'm using the went through is I can add this, run this just once. Okay, just once. So I want it to happen just once, the first time the user loads the page, and that's all. And they can continue navigating from there. Okay, so what do I want to do when the page has loaded entirely? Okay, I just want to navigate to the same. I'm just going to copy this navigation here and do some editing. I just want to navigate to the same page. Okay, to the same page sidebar, but instead of this, I'm just going to clear this and refer to the option sets. Get an option, navigation. Okay, and what I want to set is dashboard. I'm going to be closing this, and I want to be setting the dashboard slot. Okay, so let's go back and see what we have, and I'm just going to preview this. Okay, so I'll be clearing this and see if it happens by default. So say I'm loading the page for the first time. Okay, so that is selected by default. So guys, that's how to have this nice looking sidebar. Okay, if you found this tutorial useful, consider to subscribe to this channel and turn on notification, because I have more tutorials like this coming up. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.